Shalom. Shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh Shem Shai Shem Kakwadash. Giving all praises to Yahweh Shem Shai Shem Kakwadash. Shalom. Laha. Alahayim. Peace to the God. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video Normalcy Bias. Normalcy bias or normality bias is a cognitive bias which leads people to disbelieve or minimize threat warnings. See, we tell people, we do our videos as Israelites, not just DMS, but the other camps. The former One Westers are people that set up their own camps that watch the former One Westers, and they set up their own camps. And we all speak about the same thing when the destruction comes, the kingdom of heaven. You know, if you're not of the nation of Israel, your future is not good. And people kind of Esau, they wave their hands at it. Jake, they go about their business because they don't think these things are going to happen because they're so they're way out there. The fact that this place is going to be Babylon's going to be destroyed, and destruction is going to come, and new kingdom is going to come. That's what normalcy bias is all about. You know, if there's if you're in a plane and the plane crashes and you're all right, you're going to sit in your seat until the stewardess comes and tell you to do whatever because you don't know what to do. You know, normalcy bias is also when something happens, you know, the government is going to come, local government or whatever, federal government is going to come to help you. Lately, government's not really, doing anything. But you say, well, we got the government, and and that's in any country, because they all experience of some form of normalcy bias. So let me read on. It said, consequently, individuals underestimate the likelihood of a disaster. We're telling you that there's going to be a disaster, a major disaster. A large piece of land will be totally destroyed. Babylon the Great, when it might affect them and its potential adverse effects. Let me try this. What is an example of normalcy bias? Schools would reopen. We would go to dinner. We would meet up with our friends. It would all be normal soon enough. Yeah, because when disaster strikes, you wait for everything to go back to normal. So anyway, I'm not going to make this long to see what the Most High takes me. Also, the title should have been Continuity of Government. You should look that up. Continuity of Government. Matter of fact, let me look that up. continuity of government.
According to Felix, continuity of government is a coordinated effort within each of the executive, legislative, and judicial branches to ensure that governance and essential functions continue to be performed before, during, and after an emergency.
Continuity of government is a coordinated effort within each of the executive, legislative, and judicial branches. That's what the U.S. government is broken up into. Legislative is a Congress, a Senate, the Congress, which consists of House of Reps and the Senate. Executive is the president and his staff and his administration. Judicial is in Article 2. I believe that's Article 2, or Article 3 of the Constitution. I haven't been in this law thing in a while. Let me I don't got to do that, but it's one of the articles. Article 1 is definitely Congress. And I believe Article 2 is executive. Somebody can correct me. I'm not going to go crazy looking it up. And I believe Article 3 is the Supreme Court and the federal courts under the Supreme Court. I'm almost positive it's Article 3. So when they say Article 3 court, you know it's a federal court system starting with the Supreme Court. So when disaster strikes, they have to keep the government going. So they have to save all 9 members of the Supreme Court and their staff, the whole the president's administration, and all of the Congress people and all of the senators and their wives and children and their staffs to keep government going. They did movies on that. Anyway, it says, okay, branches, all these 3 branches to ensure that governance and essential functions, and this doesn't include you. It doesn't include you. You're going to be on your own. Continue to be performed before, during, and after an emergency. So that's going to kick in when these snakes, these swords, these fiery swords, these fiery flying serpents hit this place. They're going to go into continuity of government mode, but they're not going to make it. Scriptures speak about the Lord coming in as a thief in the night. COG, continuity of government, is an outcome of a viable continuity program and capability. So we can't worry about the average citizens. We gotta save the government, the 3 branches of the government, their staff, and their families. And then you have important people in education and so forth, right? So when this thing comes, they're not gonna. When this thing comes, all hell is gonna break loose. Give me a second. So anyway, what I'm gonna do is there's a video. I'll show you part of it. And I was watching it yesterday. This is, I think we did this, I don't know, 2014 maybe. Hold up, this is not it. Uh, okay, this is when we used to do the videos, the in-house videos, studio videos, and this video is also on YouTube as well. But I had recently put this up on the Odyssey page. You got to watch my videos in Odyssey. A lot of videos, dealing a lot of those videos are dealing with the MOTB, and I know you can't put them on YouTube. Anyway, it says apostles of GMS. The MOTB is the CHIP, and so I'm 15 minutes 8 seconds in. Like I said, I'm not going to make this long, and this is Apostle Limeblob speaking, and he goes into the term normacy bias. So let's listen to a little bit of this, and then I'll come back and I'll have a few words. Like I said, let's see where the spirit takes me.
Hunger, malnutrition. They're bugging out because they can't get the basic essentials or their basic needs from day to day, toiletries and food and things of that nature. So right now they're feeling the crunch, you know. So the next step, desperate. So whatever thing the government presents to them to bring them back to normalcy, they're going to accept it. They can eat again, you know. They can go back to school. They can watch cable and get electricity and lights come back on. They can get smartphones. They can laptops. Of course, they're going to accept it.
Now, when we did this video, like I said, I believe this was 2014. We doing this video and people are watching it, taking heed. But there's other people that watch it. This ain't gonna happen up here. But guess what? Already happened. 2020, 2021. Now it seems like everything's going back to normalcy, to normal, to going back to normal. But we already experienced what the Venezuelans experienced. From what years? I know they was going through it in 2014, 2013, 2012, 2011. And it got worse and worse. They had to form long lines. We have to form long lines. I remember there was a point you had to wear your mask. You had to be 6 feet apart. You had to wait, depending on how long the line was. You might have been out there for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And when you went into particular shops, you only can buy limited things. There were certain things you couldn't buy. You can buy essentials, and then you had to get on a long. And some of the stuff wasn't even there, and then you had to get on a long line. The 6 feet thing with the mask on to cash out. So if you normally went to a particular store, ABC store, and you wanted to get 5 things, it should take you no more than 10 minutes. You know what you want, you pick it up, you grab, and you go. Inside joke. But so now instead of the 10 minutes, it took you more like maybe 40 minutes. From the time you park the car till the time you line up till the time you get back in the car, we're talking maybe 40, 45 minutes. Some places an hour. Some places you said, oh, the hell with this. And it's going to happen again. The current, king of Babylon, he declared that the C-19 is over, everything's good. Well, you know what? Now, normalcy bias kicks in. Everybody's going to go back to normal. There's going to be worse shit that's going to be coming. We're at the end of this thing. You should read Matthew 24, Luke 21, and Mark 13. Just to name 3 scriptures in the New Testament. So let's listen to a little bit more.
tough charge been going turn like the normalcy bias, which basically made this is from Wikipedia. It said the normalcy bias or normalcy violation is a mental state people enter in face of disaster. It causes people to underestimate the possibility of a disaster and its possible effects. This may result in a situation where people fail to adequately prepare, and on a larger scale, the failure of government to include the populace in the disaster preparation. They show you that, I don't know the name of the movie, but I'm not sure if that was the one with, if it was 2012, or if it was the one with Morgan Freeman in it, where they show like impending danger and impending doom upon the earth.
Yeah, I saw both of these movies. The voice that you hear in the background is part of the video. Yeah, 2012, they made these arcs, and only certain people could make it. And then Deep Impact, the president was Morgan Freeman. Anytime they make a movie dealing with the U.S. and America's about to be totally destroyed, there's always a black president. It showed you that in the movie 2010, which is the sequel to 2001: The Space Odyssey. You had the U.S. in space and the Russians in space, and they found out that there was World War III down on Earth. But it was the president was a Jake.
And they only had enough room for certain teachers and astronauts and physicists and doctors and certain deep impact, right? So they only had the reserved places where they had for people to go to was only reserved for a few, and the rest of the populace was not included in it, So that's what's happening now. When the government sets up something for a continuity of government, they're not really thinking about the populace of the people. They're thinking about the continuance of that society through that government. They're not thinking about the people. That's why they plan on destroying. What is it now? It should be about 7.4 billion people on the planet, reaching 7.5 billion from a few months ago. So they're only concerned about 500 million to be able to control it. So the rest of the people, they don't give a damn. So whatever kills them quicker.
500 million. He got that from the Georgia Guidestones, which they destroyed. We don't know what. It was in the news and started the news. They cleaned up all the rubble, and that was that. That was that.
It's better for them, for their plans and their agenda. It says the assumption that is made in the case of normalcy bias is that since the disaster ever has occurred, it would never occur. So that's what they bank on, because that's why these news the news and the weather and all that, they always prepare people for the worst. Oh my goodness, you gotta prepare for the worst. This hurricane is coming, it's gonna be the worst hurricane ever, or this disaster is coming, it's gonna be the worst, and people bug out.
Esau's heavily into that, man. Jake is not into that. They're not into preparedness. Those preppers, I'm gonna look up the word preppers, man. Them Edomites now are heavily into that prepping shit. That bug out bags, bug out locations. They got TV shows on it. Jake is not. Jake doesn't. Jake, he thinks about what's gonna happen today. He thinking about the final game Sunday night, which I saw the last game. I'm gonna watch the very last game too. You get all into that. Hey, but you know what? My mind is still occupied with time.
So and they have doomsday preppers. They got the people's minds conditioned so much that every time they say there's going to be a disaster or some hurricane or something, nothing ever happens. When we go to the store, we buy up everything and then end up going bad. There's going to come a point where people are going to just say, you know what, the hell with it. Like the boy that cried wolf, and then what happened? The disaster comes and they're going to be in, so to speak. It says,
That was saw knitted, by the way, with leprosy.
the ability of people to cope with disaster once it occurs. And that's the point. Point is, people cannot put their mind around some type of disaster happening. They're not able to cope with it. That's why when 9/11 happened, people bugged the hell out. You know, they bugged the hell out. But that's what's going to happen here because America has been set up as a comfort for these people. These people have become lazy. They become fat. They become what's the word I'm looking for? Complacent. You know, and they're not. They in their wildest dreams they can't even fathom. You know, something happening in the soils of America because this media got them so pumped up that this is America. You know that nothing could ever touch America. You know, but that balloon is going to be deflated soon. You know?
Anyway, like I said, I wanted to make this short, and I hope they don't take this off because you know how YouTube get down. But anyway, I'm gonna say shalom, and I'll be Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. That's what Esau used to say about the Creek Indian. They are gonna rise. Yeah, the troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the end. The creek is gonna rise again, along with all the tribes. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom.